This is the future. Evolution.
The Crossing Realms Conference launches September 19th and 20th and will dock in Richmond, Missouri. This is already being called the event of the year, folks, with an unprecedented list of speakers and special guests, 2 days of cryptids, UFOs, and paranormal presentations, along with a celebrity-filled ghost hunt, meet and greet, gallery reading, vendors, and a film screening. This promises to be both educational and fun. Go to Eventbrite.com to secure your tickets and vendor slots before they are all abducted. They're going fast.
Hello, everybody. It is late night. It is into the bizarre, good old BMR. Monica's joining me. The Blinds and the Boos are also here. They're on location, and we'll see how everything works out with them because they're at they're at the an asylum somewhere. I don't know the details. I'll bring them up in a minute and see what's happening. Thanks to everybody for coming on in. Of course, if you're new here, please subscribe to Bigfoot on YouTube, Our Paranormal World, Monica Rollins, the Blinds and the Boos Paranormal Podcast, Texas Front Porch, Donnie Cho Says Stuff, Josh Turner, PRT, Paranormal Roundtable, and I got one other one, Truth or Tinfoil. Check everybody out on YouTube. Put on the alert bells so you don't miss the show. Thank you for that. Thank you right off the gate. We have 5 new BMR pirates. Arr, mateys. Thanks to Mr. Castro. 5 new pirates. Join the many. Join the few, depending on your point of view. Thank you for that. The super chat is also open. Great way to support what we do around here. You can find us on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever your flavor, you'll find us there. Hello to everybody. Arr, Melissa. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Of course, we have our conference coming up. You all know the 18th and 19th and 20th of September. The link for that is, of course, I pinned it up top. Before we get this rodeo started, as they say down south, down in Texas, bring out Miss Monica.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw, cowgirl. How's it going?
It's going good. How about you?
It's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. I see Brandy's already frozen. I'll wait a minute before I pull her up.
Okay.
It's going good, Monica. It's going good. Well, I'm going to pull them up and just see. She's kind of got something going on. There's
She's
Krista
eating her
Brandy.
licorice.
Yeah, eating some licorice. I got the girls. They're going to attempt this with us because they're a haunted location. And we're going to see how that goes. But we have a regular show, of course, lined up for you as well, just in case that the feed isn't too well. But I must tell you, Monica, finally got some great weather. I started doing everything in my yard. Remember last month I told you I sowed some seeds, some fertilizer. Well, it's going to be 38 degrees the next 3 nights. It's going to take a while for that to germinate and get growing.
Yeah.
So what I did, though, is I bought a bunch of mulch, fertilizer, and stuff for the yard. I do that by hand every year. It took me like 10 hours like the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you recall, I think Brandi and Krista might have heard this as well. About in the winter, I did a story about some guy that was telling me about how allegedly his gnomes came to life in the backyard. I don't know if you recall, and how he saw little gnome-like footprints on and they lived in the back of a cemetery.
Yeah, I remember that.
And follow the tracks out into the cemetery. And then all the gnomes were in a different spot in his gnome garden. So we talked about that, and I know you're big into like the fairies, this, that, and the other.
Right.
And I thought that was cool. So the reason I bring that up today, though, is this: as I'm getting all my my property ready for the upcoming summer, I go back in my shed, and guess what I found in my shed that I really forgot I had? They were covered by a bunch of I had a big box covering this. I said, "What the heck is this in the
Is
corner?"
it your neighbor's gnomes?
Well,
Were you moving them around?
well, you're close. Well, it was actually my gnomes, because I do have gnomes as well, right? So now I'm going to set up my own little gnome section, and I'm going to get on my knees and pray to the gods of the gnomes, to the fairyland,
Don't do
to
that.
bring them to life, right? I'll do it
What
during
if
the
they
day.
actually do start? Do you know I will fly up there to move them around? I would too.
Well, maybe I won't go as far as getting on my hands and knees and conjure them up, but I am going to put them out there, and I'm going to put my own BMR spell on them and see what happens.
Okay.
Bad idea?
Do your hoodoo on those.
Throw my hoodoo, and the
Blaster
girls
gnomes. You do it.
will fill
Oh
up.
no, they dropped.
Yeah, they dropped. So everybody, I didn't advertise that we'd be doing the investigation with the girls because of their connection would be crappy. I did put it on Facebook that they may or may not come in. So, they're going to be in and out, and I expect them to have they knew they would have a lag or a bad connection. So we'll see. I got the bizarre news and something else that happened to me I can talk about too, but we got a full.
Okay. Well, speaking of gardens, I need you to tell me like the percentage, like shade versus full sun versus partial, like part shade, part sun.
Well,
because I'm putting that list of plants together for you, and I need to know.
Well, thank you. Now, of course, I want the perennial.
Yes, I'm sending you perennials, and you can pepper in some annuals.
Okay, very good. I will tell you this, that I can tell you right now, my yard is 85% full sun.
Okay.
Yeah. But we haven't hit that consistent 60-degree weather yet. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Not on the perennials that will be hardy in your area.
Okay, good.
So you want to get them in the ground before it starts getting warm, because you want them to start establishing their roots before the heat of the summer starts baking them.
Very good. And I imagine the grass seed I plant is just dormant until it gets warm. I
bet it'll start sprouting. I bet you it'll start sprouting.
Right. So, Miss Blurry Brandi, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. Am I still lagging?
Yeah, you are. You are.
That's okay. We can hear you though.
I mean, we can hear you. Just, you never know. You might get a good connection. We'll just do the regular show, and you guys are just hanging out. Thanks for hanging out with us. As always, it doesn't matter. Glad you're here. So yeah, Monica, reverting back to that.
And
so
how about when we want to talk?
How about what?
When they want to talk.
I was going to say, how about when we want to talk, we raise our hand?
Yes. Okay. Very good.
Have Brandi twirl a Twizzler.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah, there you go. Excellent. That's better than the alert bell.
Helicopter Twizzler.
Better than the alert bell. That's awesome. Hey, Amy, Mickey G, Jason Finch, Nemo. Once again, thanks to Mr. Castro. A whole bunch of you coming out. Even Rando's here. How about he?
Really?
Yeah, Rando. He's
making the rare appearance.
Yeah, BJ. Hey, BJ. Hope you got that book by now. I know Little Patty got it. Werewolf. Dottie Show says stuff's in the house. So yeah, so we're loading up a little bit. Loading up. So yeah, so reverting back though, really quickly though. Mm-hmm. I was half-ass kidding. I'm not going to pray to conjure up, life with my gnomes, but I just found it was very odd that they've been sitting there for a couple of years. So you know what, and it reminded me of the show we did maybe in the winter time. So I'm going to put these little sons of a guns out here and see what happens.
See, it's an effigy. You're inviting the fae into your yard.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if the weirdness ramps up after the gnomes are in place. Right?
Well, I don't talk about weird stuff anyway, so why would it,
why would it be attractive?
Why would it? I'm kind of excited, to be honest.
I'm excited. I was working in the yard today too, and I'll be doing that all day tomorrow. I've got to dig up part of my yard and replant some things, and We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. But do you think there's any truth to that, though? These actual I hear the stories all the time. I've got more than one. I got
If
several.
they come to life? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but when they come to life, it's not like the ceramic or the plastic comes to life. It's the spirit body, perhaps.
Well, I think that it's actual probably gnomes checking out, like, what's going on over here? What's this weird stuff happening in this yard? Like, looks like me, but not really. Maybe a little bit. What's up here? I think they're just catching them coming to investigate.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I know Brandy's enjoying. She's got a big smile on, little Krista. I see half of Krista's face. Hi, Krista.
Hey,
There you. Oh, that was pretty quick.
That was.
That was pretty quick response. We might be getting the internet back. Hey, really quickly, where are you guys hanging out tonight? Before I get out some bizarre news, let's see how long this lags on. Brandy, Krista, where are you at exactly tonight? Wow.
we are at Emmaus Asylum in Marthasville, Missouri. And just so the whole place is very, very haunted. We've had lots of encounters here. And this is, we've been here several times now. And it's just a good place to hunt. Also, within, I would say, a mile or two from here is what I call Dogman Road. We've actually heard weird stuff out here in the woods too. So, so a little bit of, some cryptid stuff, some ghost stuff. So see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure maybe, I'm looking forward to hear your full report. You can report to me bright and early Monday morning. I'll be waiting.
You'll expect it typewritten along with any photographic evidence that you have.
Oh, well, I'm just going to throw the photos right out the window. Unless there's a red circle, I'm not looking at it. So thanks for sitting in. And I'm going to get this started with a little bizarre news, I think. So I got 3 planned, then this weird experience that I had. So we got a whole bunch of cool stuff to do tonight. So with that being said, Brandi, Krista, kick back, listen on in, and Monica, you're going to be a point person because I know you love commenting on what I love to call the bizarre news.
Of course.
All right, here we go. Bizarre news. Man in Sri Lanka dies during failed exorcism. April 15th, 2025. Exorcist Maxi Castro. Hello, not any relation to Mr. Joshua Castro in the chat room, I don't think. Exorcist Maxi Castro ended up burying himself alive while trying to purge demons from a teacher's house. Castro voluntarily had himself buried in the ground. The strange series of events began when Castro was called in to remove demons from the house of school teacher Wasanta Bandera in the village of Palamet. Quote, I saw him perform a ritual like this at a temple 6 months ago and invited him to check my property, she says. The peculiar ritual involved Castro requesting that he be buried in the ground in a shallow grave with a sword that he would push up from underneath to indicate that he was ready to be dug up. Okay.
Foolproof. What could go wrong?
Yeah, that's science at its best. Helpful onlookers followed his instructions to the letter. But after 3 hours, there was no sign of any movement, and it was decided that he should be dug up anyway. 3 hours later, mind you. Okay.
Yeah, there's enough oxygen in there.
Absolutely. He was found unconscious and upon being taken to the hospital was declared dead. Police in the region are currently investigating the incident.
But they are.
What caught me, go ahead.
No, I'm just
Yeah, well, what caught me is when I read about an incident Oh, you got to say something, Krista? You raised your hand.
Okay, so Brandi and I are walking outside, like where we heard the different odd noises, I would say. So we just thought we'd bring you out here and hopefully maybe get better service. So that's what we're trying to do. And I've been raising my hand a lot, Rob, but you've been ignoring me.
Well, when I'm reading the news, I can't see anything. But so that's one little hiccup in tonight's situation.
Yeah.
So what I found
So we're going to walk out here.
Okay, very good. Do what you got to do. We're not going anywhere for a while. So Monica, and the girls, I guess, when they hear me 8 seconds later, I found it interesting because I'm always interested in exorcisms. I don't watch the movies. I gave up on that because I get terrible nightmares. I can't.
Sure.
I haven't even completed the Linda Blair original.
Mm.
I take that back. I did watch it during the daytime last year, and I felt better about watching it during the day with all the lights on.
Okay.
Creepy. But I'm into, these rituals. I really am. And I've said this many times. I listened to our Bell. He had Father Malachi Martin on.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to that whole series twice. Fascinating. But so that's why I wanted to read that. But then when he came across, so I wanted to hear what this exorcism was about. But what's bizarre about this is a man willingly buries himself, has people bury him.
And he's the exorcist.
And he's the exorcist.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what's the purpose of you being in a box underground?
I mean, you can't
to drive the spirits out.
Yeah, you can't perform any rituals.
I wouldn't think so.
Now he says it was a shallow grave. I don't know if he was in a box. Hopefully he was in a box.
Well, goodness gracious, I hope so.
Because he would have been dead long. It would have taken longer than 3 hours.
Yeah, I don't think he lasted a whole long time in that box anyway.
Probably.
Assuming he was in a box. I don't know what else he would have been in, unless I don't know, they gave him a snorkel and put him under like 18 inches of dirt. I don't know.
Hey, but he had his mighty sword.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he was okay.
How do
you get the sword?
Yes.
Like what?
I mean, I don't know if the average samurai sword is 3.5 feet long. So you'd have to be 4 feet below ground? Or you'd have to be deep enough or you already have it
through.
Poke through.
But, well, not only that, but how much room does he have in there in order to bring the sword up even?
Yeah. I'm thinking
get the lid.
Unless he laid flat on his back with the sword already extended upwards and he was that deep.
Yeah, but then the sword's already up. How do you know when time he wiggles the sword around?
Maybe they covered the sword, 6 inches.
Oh.
I don't know. Well, that is bizarre.
It makes no sense to me.
It's not that credible. I just thought it was.
I don't doubt somebody did it. I just don't see how that is going to be effective in any kind of exorcism.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to exorcise the life out of your own body.
Yeah.
Which he successfully did.
He did. And to answer some of the questions in chat, like Andres, Rob, was he buried with any stones? When I usually do these bizarre news, I read them. Very little edits on my part, except for one tonight I had to edit. But I usually just give you what I'm reading you is what I get. So as far as answering questions, your questions are as good as mine because that's really the information that I get. Just passing that along. So yeah, the girls, they dropped off. So, but yeah, so I thought that was interesting.
It's bizarre.
It's bizarre, and
it's the appropriate news for this segment.
For this segment's appropriate news, but I like to know this guy's credentials as an exorcist because I've never heard.
I don't think they were very good.
Yeah, maybe he got paid a lot of money, which he's not going to see because now, of course, he's beyond the grave.
Maybe his family. Well, I mean, he could come back and haunt them for that. Give it to my widow.
He could come back with the gnomes.
Yeah. He could lead the gnomes on a charge.
He could lead them on a charge. Yes, very indeed. We got another one here. News item 2. I found this interesting simply because of what's happened to me in my past. with certain things, not to this degree. Sleepwalking man punches through bedroom window with his bare fist.
I bet that tickled.
April 9th, 2025. I actually put my hand through a window not on purpose, trying to wake up a friend.
Oof.
Yeah, and then I cut my bottom part of my hand open.
You're lucky it was the bottom part of your hand and not through your tendons.
It was the fatty part right here. I repaired it myself with masking tape and glue.
I bet you got a cool scar for the ladies.
The greatest thing about this is it's better than a surgeon could have done. You can barely see the scar.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, so it worked out. I got lucky.
You did get lucky.
Yeah, I did. An Irishman who had been having a nightmare woke up to find himself in a scene from a horror movie. Sleepwalking can be a disconcerting. Thank you, Kelly Sander, for $10 super chat. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much for that. Sleepwalking can be disconcerting. Can be a disconcerting thing to contend with at the best of times, but when you end up punching through windows in your sleep, it can also become downright terrifying. This recently became reality for 27-year-old David Murphy from Cork, Ireland, who had been sound asleep one night when he awoke to find himself standing next to his bedroom window. This wasn't the worst of it, as he quickly realized that the window glass had been smashed to pieces and his mangled hand was now dripping with blood.
Oh.
He later recalled that he had been having a nightmare at the time in which he had believed himself to be trapped inside a shrinking room. In a bid to escape, he had started pounding his fists against the walls, only to awaken to find that he had actually punched through his bedroom window.
Ooh.
He says, I have experienced sleepwalking before, but nothing quite like this, he goes on. After he woke up, his girlfriend took him to the local hospital, where he received, check this out, 45 stitches. His injured hand also required weeks of physiotherapy in an effort to restore his full use of it. Murphy has since spoken to a psychiatrist about his bouts of sleepwalking. The psychiatrist linked it to my own fear of death for myself, my friends, and loved ones. A form of OCD, he said. I was prescribed an antidepressant to help with the overthinking. At first, I felt like taking the medication would be like giving me help in some way. It really has not helped. I continue to have these sleepwalking bouts, which continually get violent. In fact, I've gone to the fact that my girlfriend has left my house and does not sleep with me in the fear that I'll do bodily harm to her.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine?
No.
Not having control of yourself while sleeping?
There's got to be, if it's psychological or I don't know what, but there's got to be something that he can do to try to help tame that part of his mind, right? So that he's not performing like sleepwalking exercises, or he's not just, unwittingly beating the snot out of somebody. He thinks he's trapped in a room or whatever the current dream might be. But that is scary. That's scary for him and scary for his loved ones. But I just can't imagine waking up with my hand mangled and surely a ton of pain and not knowing what happened. That's unnerving.
That would be unnerving. This is a true story. My brother was in the Navy and he ended up getting a honorable discharge. In the Navy, it was the first time he was deployed to sea, and he was on an aircraft carrier. And they were out, I don't know how many days they were at sea. I think they were not even a week into it. And my brother today is lucky to be alive. He was found you know how they have their patrol on the decks or they
Right.
have towers on the ships. My brother, it was nighttime when everyone's supposed to be asleep, and my brother was sleepwalking on the deck of the aircraft carrier.
That's scary. And you're right. He is lucky to be alive because guard hadn't caught him. If watch hadn't caught him, he would have
He'd been
could have
washed
walked
away.
right off.
He
Yeah.
could have walked off, got
And
washed.
nobody would have known what the heck happened.
They would not have known he was gone until they did their roll call. I assume they do a roll call maybe at I don't know how. I've never been in the service. Yeah, they wouldn't have found out. It'd have been hours later before they even realized he was gone.
Yeah. Oh,
And
gosh. And
so,
let me tell you, you don't want to be anywhere near the side of a ship with those propellers running because down and into the propellers you
get
go.
sucked under. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
If
so
the
yeah,
fall itself didn't like get you.
yeah, break your neck depending how you fall.
Your poor brother, though.
Yeah, you know, so but he and I guess he was so petrified when I mean they got him obviously they went and got him and then he woke up and yeah, and he was, lucky he was wet and he was out there in his skivvies.
Oh,
I mean,
well, that's the least of his concerns.
But yeah, but luckily where they were at, it wasn't all that cold. I mean, he could have died of
exposure, sure.
So yeah, that so they had to actually give him the he couldn't perform his full what he's
his full duties on the aircraft carrier, sure, but I'm surprised that they didn't reassign him.
Like they couldn't find they put just detrimental to his own self and other people. It was something to write up. Now that was many years ago, of course. So he was like 20 years old. But I was thinking, yeah, perhaps a reassignment. But that's the way it played out, and lucky for him. But these dreams, I tell you, I've told you many times about my dreams that seem very real at times, right? I've never sleptwalked, but now looking back at certain things, like when I found myself crawling down a hallway, thinking I left my physical body in an astral plane at some point. Of course, I was trying to project. But that's a scary thing. There was another instance where there was a neighbor, and when I was married, there was this old man who was sleepwalking, and he had a gun in his hand.
Oh my God.
And he was in my other neighbor's backyard trying to break in.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and the neighbor woke up to see old man Charlie waving a gun at his back door. And he was looking at old man Charlie, and he didn't look awake. So he called the police, which was very unnerving. They say you're not supposed to wake up a person when they're sleepwalking, let alone a man with a weapon in their hand.
Well, I'm waking you up. If I think that you're going to harm myself or yourself.
Well, I'm going to wake you up, but my thing is, you don't know what they're going to do with that gun. They might pull the trigger.
Sure. That's going to be scary. And you don't want to, what if the cops come and they don't realize he's sleepwalking? They're going to shoot somebody with a gun if he points it in their direction.
Yeah, I'm sure that he didn't give them the description the man was sleepwalking. Hey, my neighbor.
The cops aren't going to take a chance with that. They're
armed and they're going to open fire.
That's scary. Oh my goodness, that's scary. I've never sleptwalked either. I find myself like occasionally, if it's a particularly like vivid dream, I'll sit up. Like I wake up as I'm sitting up, but I've never found myself outside of, my bed. Just how did I get here? Now I have spaced out going to like places you're used to, like you go to and from work every day on your commute, and you space out and 20 miles have gone by and you're like, where the heck? I don't remember the last 20 miles.
That's happened to me. Driving. I don't know if I had a creepy encounter. I was out. I don't know that I ever told. I don't think I mentioned this one to you. I was. It was me and my buddy Mike and Mickey. My buddy Mickey's got at the time back in the day, he had a 28-foot Sea Ray boat, and we took the boat from Detroit to Put-in Bay, Ohio. It's a big party island, Put-in Bay. and we spent the weekend there. And Mickey, well, we're all back when I was in my 20s and 30s. I was on the Great Lakes quite often, and I knew how to get from a variety of locations on a boat. I never owned a boat, but I knew how to navigate one and read charts, because back in the day, it was charts.
Sure.
It wasn't
Yeah.
GPS.
Like topo maps that nobody knows how to read
Yeah.
anymore.
So, yeah, absolutely. So I was pretty skilled at that, but so are the men I was with, the guys I was with at the time. And so we're at we had a great time. So we decided to leave. We got to get back to work on Monday, so we leave Sunday night. And we're out, and we we don't set sail. We motored. It's not a sailboat; it's a motorboat. So, of course, like dummies, though, we take off, and the sun is getting ready to set. Now, it's not a bad thing, but unfortunately, there was an overcast night, and the moon did not light up any of the water. So we were just going by certain points, or certain buoys out in the Lake Erie, and then into the Detroit River, where you follow these certain little buoys and lighthouses or beacons, which are mile markers, and they kind of help navigate you.
Mm-hmm.
And just put on your compass. And what we use is the revolving compass and maps, so. And we had been there several times. So we get to, so now our major point that we wanted to get to was called the Detroit Light. Now, the Detroit Light is probably via boat doing about, 10, 20 knots. You can probably get there in maybe 28 to 30 minutes. So we're looking for the Detroit Light, and all the lights were lit up. It's the only thing you could really see on the water. And we figured in about 20 minutes, we'll reach the Detroit Light. Then when we hit the Detroit Light, we knew that it would be we would go southwest to Detroit. So we knew from there it would take another 30 minutes. So about an hour trip. We see the Detroit Light, and then we proceed to navigate southwest. And so we're up top. We're having a good time talking and just going about our business. And it's nighttime. And it was very peculiar because we remember it was like 1:00 in the morning when we hit the Detroit Light. So we said, okay, at 1:30 in the morning, we should be close to our port of call.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all three of us are up top deck at the controls, at the steering wheel, all that, and we're just BSing. And then, of course, back in the day, and we didn't have no clock on us, so Mickey goes, hey, Robbie, go down below and see what time it is. We should be getting close to where we're supposed to be. Now, mind you, Detroit Light, 1:00 in the morning. We figure by 1:30, we're pretty much should be home. I go down below deck into the galley below. Monica, it's 2:30 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Now listen though, we weren't sleeping. 1 in the morning, we set our we go on the southwest navigation, and we're talking, and we figure Mickey goes, it's been I think about 30 minutes. Go see what time it is. I'm like, yeah, and we all thought, yeah, it's about 30 minutes. We have that mental clock running that we all have.
Yeah.
2:30 in the morning.
And it wasn't like daylight savings or something where the time switches?
It was middle of summer, That's July.
Crazy. So you've got missing time.
So we got an hour and a half of missing time. And then we're traveling southwest. Now, Canada is north, well north of where we're traveling. We're not even going north, southwest, which is what the compass said. So we go down, we pull some maps, pull out these charts, and we kind of slow up. We get a big spotlight. We're trying to look for things on shore. We're in Canada.
What?
We end up in Canada.
Like the opposite direction?
Opposite direction.
Okay. Were you drinking a lot?
No, not that night because we, you know, I
Okay.
mean, we drank Sunday, but by the
You
time
gotta
we took
ask. You
off,
gotta ask.
well, yeah, of course, drinking went on that weekend. We were probably groggy as all get out.
Right. But
So
not
we had,
enough to like navigate up to Canada.
so listen though, but this is not what the story is. This is funny. So we think now we're in Canada. So, but our compass is still reading southwest on our travel, and you can't get it going south. You can't get there. It's impossible.
Right.
But we see landmarks. We think we're in Canada. So we get back and we don't know what to do. So we just continue on southwest. And now all of a sudden the sun is starting to come up in the horizon. We've been out adrift. And we just get around this. Then we find this bend. We get around this bend. And and between this bend, there's sheets of rock on either side of us. And they're like 30 feet tall. It's like almost look like ice glaciers, right? But it was rock. Maybe like sandstone. I don't know what type of rock it would be. And now we find we're in 3 feet of water.
Oh,
which is dangerously close for the, even if you bring up the engine, it's still dangerous, very dangerous.
Yeah.
And then we ran out of gas. And we had more than enough fuel to go for 5 or 6 hours. And then all of a sudden the boat is drifting, we're out of gas, and we get right around the right bend of the corner, and we see a bunch of men working, and there's this marina. And the marina was the Toledo Beach Maumee Marina, which is nowhere in Canada. It's in Ohio.
Sure.
We've been driving the boat for over 3 hours, a 1 hour trip. 1 o'clock turned to 2:30. 2:30 turned into the sunrise, which is like another 4 hours before the sun rises.
Right.
Weirdest experience of my life when it comes to time and time loss.
That is weird.
I don't care if we were drunk as hell. We ain't that stupid.
Yeah, but the navigation part is so bizarre.
Navigation was off. It was almost like it was demagnetized.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't spin. Huh?
Did you guys have the compass checked?
When we get into port, we gas up and everything we take out to get back, because now we're like 20 minutes from home once again. Late for work, of course. Going to be late. Compass worked fine. And the thing I do remember about this is the compass never got off the southwest heading. It never spun east. It never spun north, certainly, which was the direction we traveled. Allegedly, in our minds, according to the map and according to some of the structures or some of the land markings, right?
Right.
That was the oddest. I tell you, I've had some odd experiences in my life. Don't know what that was.
Yeah, that's really strange.
And I tell you, we went on cycle. We don't use drugs. We weren't drinking this entire trip, especially at night. That's really, even as dumb as I am, that's dumb. And so yes, we just think, to this day, I think we probably just somehow screwed up, and then the compass threw us off course. But the problem is all this time in between. It's almost like we had enough gas to go way longer than our travel was. We had enough gas and to run out of gas. And this entire experience, it didn't seem like we were on the water that long.
Sure.
We just see the sun rising and we're like, why? This is weird.
That is.
This should have been a problem.
Like there's no easy explanation for that. Like there's no. I mean, you would have thought of it if there was, but
I've gone over that. I've gone over that even during that time period. I'm like, this is just crazy. We gave up on it, and of course, since I told that story before, I told the story to a friend of mine, Barry Little, and of course, and he's a great guy, full of information. He does that regressive therapy. And of course, everybody says when you lose time, guess what happens to you, Monica? Alien abduction.
Well, sure.
I wasn't thinking that back when I'm in like 32.
Well, I don't think that's where I hate to say it,
I don't.
Normally functioning brain would go.
No. A normally functioning brain, you don't even think alien.
And then there's our brains that's like
Yes.
heading in that direction. But
Then our brains head in that direction. That was an odd experience.
I bet.
So yeah. So thanks everybody for coming in. And I tell you what, here's something you're gonna love, Monica. Another piece of bizarre news. One of your favorite topics is kind of AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to find at least one AI per show because AI creeps me out.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Does that look familiar?
RoboCop. It looks like that's the Tesla truck right there on
Yeah.
2 legs.
Mm-hmm.
The Tesla trucks look like friggin' RoboCop to me.
Yeah. Well, they oh my gosh. Yeah, they do. Yeah. I'm going to go on with this little piece of news. How close are we to being able to build a real RoboCop?
Well,
yeah, there you go.
Let me tell you.
Well, where to get on with this?
Pretty close. We're already dangling androids from strings. You're on mute, by the way, if you're trying to talk. You're on mute. You're still on mute.
I'm on mute. Thanks. I don't know what happened there. But thank you, Monica, because I would have went on. I'm glad you were there. I did that before solo for like 10 minutes. Oh, God. Bombed the whole show. Yeah.
We all have shows like that. There's some
We
shows
do.
where I'm just like, I'm going to delete this the minute it ends.
I know. I did. In fact, I did. I figured out how to delete the 10 minutes. Then
Okay. So you just
it still sucked. It didn't make sense then after that. Anyway. Brain-computer interfaces and advanced robotics could one day make the iconic cyborg cop a reality. In the 1987 classic film RoboCop, the deceased Detroit cop Alex Murphy is reborn as a cyborg. He has a robotic body and a full brain computer interface that allows him to control his movements with his mind. He can access online information such as suspects' faces, uses the AI intelligence to help detect the threats. Human memories have been integrated into this as well from a machine. Today, Monica, developers have lagged behind when it comes to building an interface in which the brain's electrical pulses can communicate with an external device.
Yeah.
This, too, is changing. In the latest breakthrough, a research team based at the University of California has unveiled a brain implant that enables a woman with paralysis to live stream her thoughts via AI into a synthetic voice with just a 3-second delay. Much of the recent progress has been based on advances in our ability to map the brain, identifying the various regions and their activities. The progress in AI, chip fabrication, and biomedical tech that enable these developments is expected to continue in the coming years, which should mean that brain-computer interfaces keep to improve. It should be similarly possible to create a $6 million man with enhanced vision, hearing, and strength by implanting the right sensors and linking the right components to convert neuron signals into actuators. No doubt applications will emerge as our understanding of brain functionality increases that haven't been thought of yet. With every step forward, questions like this becomes ever more pressing. The major technological obstacles have essentially been cleared out of the way. It's time to start thinking about what extent we want to integrate these technologies into our society. With our continued obsession of are we alone in the universe? Are we creating our own breed of an alien society to perhaps help us when the actual aliens themselves show themselves to us? I don't know about all that, but
There's so many sci-fi movies wrapped up in that, like Johnny Mnemonic, and I mean, okay, so that's a technology that I just have such a hard time wrapping my head around now. I understand the impulses, right? And there are prosthetics, right, that can read brain impulses and allow people, amputees, to be able to move, like maneuver hands and things like that, right? But if you're talking about a full body impulse read, like how is that going to work over distance? I mean, with the synthetic arms, obviously it's attached to you, so the impulse is right there. But without the brains, I mean, it's part of your body. Your brainstem is sending the pulse. That's whatever's happening there. But if you are inserting a chip into a completely separate being, right, or whatever you want to call it, and it's reading your impulses, to what proximity would that need to be? You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't see how it's going to read an impulse halfway around the world.
Right. Okay.
So if you send this thing, this effigy, whatever you want to, this synthetic, out into the world as you, to what's the maximum distance away that it could be and still be able to read those
process and read it? Yeah. I wouldn't think very far at all.
I wouldn't think very far at all either, unless there's a hard wire. I mean, I don't even know how it would. I mean, I maybe like at a short distance, but I just don't understand like how that's possible without like completely transplanting your brainstem.
Well, just like we were talking about the other day. Yeah, I tell you, that to me is something that I'm going to give a thumbs down on being achieved. I mean, now we did the show the other day when we were about our bodies being, what was it? Our human body. They were cloning bodies.
Yeah, the ethics on it. I just don't like. I've seen that movie, and I just feel like anything that's conscious that could learn, if it has the ability to learn, it's got a like independent thought process, and it could be a clone of you, but that doesn't mean it's a full extension of you. Your consciousness is not in that. And if you were able to put your consciousness in that, then what? Because there's a movie out there, I forget what it is. I forget the name of it, but it's about wealthy people like have clones created of themselves, and they are all an isolated community, and clones go missing every now and then. Well, what it is they have them cloned in case liver failure, heart failure, whatever, perfect match over here. The clones just disappear from this community, but they are autonomous. They have their own thoughts. They have their own feelings and emotions. So is it murder or not? Because they're clones. Like, I have a real problem with.
Do you suggest that there's
potentials for that?
Well, I have a problem with a lot of this, but you think there's an actual community of clones?
Do I think that? No. Do I think that that's possible in the future?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, I do think that's possible. And I've heard of people. What's this? The cryogenics, where they freeze part of you, or some people go in this deep freeze.
Oh yeah, cryogenics. Yeah,
cryogenics.
But
I know that they
will
can
die. Like,
I think you're gonna die. I don't think you're gonna survive that.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's like this Goldilocks zone where your cells are frozen, but they're not. It doesn't kill the cell necessarily, but that's like so hard to achieve. I just don't believe that like long-term maintenance is going to be a thing. Plus, like you're banking on like future medical advancements, right? Like they freeze your head, in case like they can train. Like, that's legit. I want to say that's legit. Like, I heard that before, that like they'll freeze heads so in the future, like they can transplant it. Well, your head isn't the source of everything. It is your freaking brain, and it goes all the way down. Like, if you've ever seen what a human looks like without the meat skeleton that you're part of, it's terrifying. You'd have to take all of that and all of those nerves including your optic nerves. And that's what you would need to preserve for transplant later, not just your freaking head.
No, it's absolutely, that's just your head, Really quickly, thanks for coming in, everybody. Yeah, the Blondes and the Boos, they were going to maybe do a live investigation tonight, but they were kind of iffy with that because their connection just kind of sucks. So, but it's okay. They're doing their thing. They'll report a little later to us. So we're just doing our typical show. I agree 100% with you, Monica. I do think, however, that these communities of clones, I think that, well, it goes on right now, as you said, with even, I don't keep talking about like the pig transplant for heart valves. I mean, that goes on, which is a cool thing, save a life. But the advancements today that they're thinking, these people that are thinking these things up, playing God a lot. I mean, to me, it's like they just want to. I don't know that I want to live 300 years. I don't know that I don't, but I want to be myself though, and I don't want to be synthetic.
I mean, right? You think about, do you want to live forever? Like, think of Highlander, right? Do you want to live forever?
Yeah.
Who doesn't? I mean, nobody relishes the thought of death. And do you want to live forever? Well, you don't want to die, but you also don't want to live long enough to see everybody you know and love die.
Before you know, you'd be lost and alone in the world.
You'd be so alone, so lonely.
I mean,
and you'd be afraid probably after a while to even try to make any connections with people, because that pain, I'm sure you either become numb to it and then you're a monster. I mean, you have no emotions because you're numb to like grief and everything else, or you would shy away, I imagine, from connections with other people or animals or anything, because you understand what's inevitable if you're the only one that can live.
Yeah.
But I suppose if they extend the life like of everybody has a possibility, let's say, to live to 200. What's the quality of life? Because I can tell you that the quality of life when you're hitting about a century is not super.
Yeah, I don't care if you can keep me about 35, keep my mom and dad in their 50s, my brother and all my friends. You keep us all at a cool age that we want to be at, right? Yeah. And a guarantee that we're of gainful employment. We're not going to be going through what the hell is going to happen in this world in 200 years. I have no idea what
it's a scary prospect if you like the trajectory we are currently on doesn't look super hopeful.
It's kind of looks bleak.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like the world is turning more and more impersonal, right?
Mm.
It's slowly getting, I mean, really, there's worrying about all this AI. I mean, even what I mean by impersonal is not so much like, you don't have friends, this or that, but everything's to be AI. There's to be a point we don't know if we're talking to an AI on the phone. Even today, we kind of don't. It's going on right now. There's to be AI. Did you see? I do like going shopping. I just seen this thing, which totally blew my mind today. But they have stores where you can literally just walk in. There's no employees in the store, Monica. None. And it's open 24/7. It doesn't close. Okay. There's humans are not in it. And here's the crazy thing. You can go in the store and let's say you want to get a television. I don't know. You walk in, you find your Samsung, you pick it up, you walk out the store with it. And you're charged when you leave.
What if you don't have enough credits available?
That's a great point. They did not bring that up, Monica. Supposedly, you're going to have a chip.
So does it electrocute? You get a nice sharp buzz if you don't have enough.
You drop dead at the front door.
Sure. I mean, sure. Yeah, that's ethical.
I don't know. You walk in, yeah. I mean, if you have the money, I guess you'll be able to walk out. But
is it like Star Trek where there's no money?
They said, yeah, there's no money whatsoever. Well, we're going into the cashless society pretty soon. That.
But I mean, it's cashless as, I hold my card up to a card reader. It's not I walk out of the store and they know who the hell I am from facial recognition.
According to this place, there's like 1 billion cameras installed.
Sure.
They see everything you pick up and put back, everything you put in your cart, put in your pocket. It don't matter if you hit it on your person, it's going to go off and you're going to be charged.
How?
A chip.
A chip implanted?
A
How
chip
many
is a
chips
chip-
are we
a
going to have
chip-
implanted in our bodies?
Going to be a chip implant. They're first going to be issued to people that want to sign up for this store. You'll get a
Screw
chip
that.
you put in your wallet. They
Oh.
also say in the future that, hey, listen, they're talking about putting chips in babies.
But hell no. Hell no.
Hey,
I don't doubt that, but that's a hell to the no for
you
me.
know, it's a big help. Hey, they put chips in the dog now when your dog's lost, right?
Well, my cats are microchipped, so I get that.
I'll put a
But,
chip in my
I
dog.
mean, we're talking about my pet wandering too far away versus, my consciousness being projected into an android and then, another chip in me so that you can charge my credit card when I go grocery shopping. And it's still a little gray on what happens if somebody doesn't have enough money.
That's the gray area, which was not covered. And I did see this. I watched this on TV. I was watching it. And I'm like, kind of bizarre. And I had the same thought. I said, well, they didn't mention about, like, what if you're broke?
Yeah.
Does a cyber robot come out and haul you off to jail?
Does RoboCop appear?
Right. But, and what I mean about impersonal, okay, cool. There'll be other shoppers in there you can talk with, but I still like going and talking to the person at the register. I don't even, hey, I tell you what, I purposely put my stuff in the cart just to go. I don't do the self-checkout unless I'm extremely in a hurry and I've got like 5 items. Because now it seems like where I go, the self-checkout is longer to get through than if you were to use a person. Because everybody rushes to it.
Yeah, I just go whichever line's the shortest. I don't care.
Typically, I'm always in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
typically have a lot of items on me because I usually wait like a week or two before I buy anything.
I do that too.
And it's a hassle doing it by yourself, bagging it.
Hey, T-Bone.
Hey, T-Bone. Good to see you. Thank you.
Awesome.
We got 5 more BMR Pirates R, mateys. Thank you so much to T-Bone R.
You are awesome.
You are awesome, matey. We got 10 tonight, thanks to Mr. Castro, and thank you to Kelly for her $10 super chat. Love you guys. Appreciate that. And but yeah, it's just scary things thinking about this moving forward. I say this and people get mad at me, and I apologize to those people, but
why?
Well, because what I'm scared is I say this and people that have kids get mad at me. Today, I would not want to have a newborn kid because I just worry about their future.
I have talked my oldest daughter out of having children.
Oh, good. You're with me then.
Yeah, I am.
Excellent. Yeah.
I see nothing good on the horizon.
Yeah, I don't.
And it's not because I don't want her to be a mother, and that is 100% not the case.
It has nothing to do with that whatsoever. I get that. Yeah, it's just like, hey, you gotta go into the tech world. Well, as far as employment goes, listen, if you're not a tech genius or medical genius, that's really going to be the only 2 jobs left in the world. And really, with the advancements in AI, who knows? You might have a robot performing all these surgeries on you. Screw the doctor, right?
They already do that.
They do a lot of surgeries. A lot of doctors have the handheld. Yeah. And they just guide it through a lens, through a microscope, and the robotic laser does all the work.
Yeah.
It's like in the car industry. My nephew's 30 years old. I said, man, okay, you got a good job and all, but I'm going to tell you right now, when you're 50, you'll be looking for another job or before then because your job's easily going to be outsourced to robots. Not even outsourced.
The simple ones are.
Over.
Yeah, the simple jobs are. Yeah.
I had to do that as part of my job. One of the reasons why I kind of left Ford Motor Company because I was put in a department to figure out how to eliminate jobs. So they set me up with the engineering department, and we had to hash out how to cut 50 heads. And I hated that part of the job.
Yeah, that's horrible.
I knew these people. I didn't want to see them go,
Yeah.
And the auto industry, that's I love it. my whole family's auto people. I was an auto guy. You know,
Well, I
it's
mean, you're in Michigan. That's
well, Michigan is auto, right?
yeah.
But a state like Michigan, without the auto industry, we would be bleak. You know, poor state.
Monica, who's going to take care of her when she's old? Well, I don't know.
Right.
The people that decided to have children, I don't know. Take
Well,
care
no,
of
what
I don't know.
probably the AI robot.
I mean, who's going to take care of the people that don't have children now?
Yeah.
Yeah, the AI robots can do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you know that I tell you, that's on the horizon. We talked about a lot of different ones, synthetics. There are robots made to look just like you and I, but human beings, as your maid, your bartender, your servant, your groundskeeper. That is coming. That's already there.
Sure.
I know that's coming. And it's only going to be for the elite and the rich, but they're going to get that down to the point where the average Joe could probably get one.
Well, everything starts out up here and then trickles down to us.
Like I never thought that this would be. I never thought that this would be $1,000, but then I never thought that you could lease them.
Well, I mean, I didn't think that I'd be able to like do everything on these things, right?
No, everything.
Not just the money associated with them, but all the crap you can do with them.
Hey, I got to tell you something too, which reminds me of something. I remembered on the dial-up telephone. Oh, by the way, really briefly, they did a survey. Kids that are between the ages today of like 12 and 15 don't know how to tell time on a regular clock. They don't know how to write or mail a letter. They don't know how to do something else. Very basic. Oh, use a can opener. Those are three of the items that I remember. Kids today, 51%.
They don't know how to. Okay. Yeah. Well, we could cripple a generation by writing in cursive too.
They don't. They print.
No.
Yeah. They don't even know how. Yeah. And they don't even teach math, I guess, anymore. I don't know.
They teach math, but it's screwy.
Yeah.
It's these like crazy ways to get to a conclusion.
Yeah. I thought it was bad enough when he had to do those math story problems, which made no sense. You remember those? How dumb they were.
Yeah,
train leaves Amsterdam at 300,000 miles per hour.
And
train in Texas leaves.
And
how long will it take them to meet in Rockford, Illinois? I don't know. I'm not bothering with it. I'll fail the test. I didn't bother. That's just me, though. I ain't doing this.
I don't maths.
I don't do maths.
I know, but in America is so bad with STEM, like so bad.
Yeah, it's
truly not smart. It's like like whole compared to the rest of them. I shouldn't say the rest, but a majority of the world.
No, you're right. Hell, another thing that ticked me off is I picked up my goddaughter's history book. She can graduate next year. So it is history book from a couple of years prior. And I'm reading through this thing, thumbing through it. And I'm like, what type of history is this? It's totally different than the history we were taught.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not getting into that today. It was just not what I remember. A lot of things were omitted.
Shocking.
Yeah, shocking indeed. It's so far left, crazy left.
Well, history is written by the victor. So
there you go. I gotta tell you this experience. I was waiting to tell this. I wanted the paranormal gals to me, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna share this with you because I'm sure you can. It's a very cool story. This happened to me recently. I did this on a brunch show couple 3 weeks ago. Because I don't know what happened. I was by myself. I'm like, oh crap, I had to put together a show. But it just so happened this event that happened to me, because weird things always happen to me, Monica, with people, which is why I love people. I go into a gas station, people talk to me. I've gotten a lot of paranormal stories from people in the mobile and at the grocery store.
Cool.
People come up to me, start talking. Plus, I tend to talk to people if I think they look interesting, and I try to get on. I daily look for stories. I do. I just do it now. People think I'm crazy.
You're a type A outgoing personality, Rob. I hiss at people if they look at me.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm very shy. I'm a shy person at heart, really.
I'm a shy person outwardly.
You're right. So this is bizarre. And there's a lot of things when I talk about weird things. Is like I don't know if you remember this story. I don't carry the cross, the crucifix. I don't really sport jewelry. I got one really cool jewelry item, a silver necklace I'll wear once in a while. That's really it. I don't have a crucifix. I don't wear chains with emblems on them. Just never been my thing. And really quickly, I was talking to this old woman, said, bless you, this, that, and the other. I was wearing a brand new jacket, and there was a little crucifix that showed up in my pocket when she left and vanished out of the store. Did I ever tell you that one?
Okay. I want to say, it sounds familiar, but.
Well, anyway, this is what I still kept this. I never got rid of it. This is what
it's the end of a rosary. Okay.
And and I never had a rosary. Little kid, 8 years old, going to Catholic school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't carry stuff like this. I don't carry it. Not that I don't believe in God. It's just not my style. It's not what I do.
Sure.
So this woman, I thought she was very, something about her struck to me. And we were like 8, but here's the thing. We were 8 feet away from each other. I had a brand new coat on. It's fully zipped. First time I wore it. And then I happened to look in my pocket. There this thing is. So a lot of things like that have kind of happened to me a little bit. And the most recent one was just maybe... It was probably about less than a month ago. And I don't go to Walmart. I try not to, because the one by my house, an absolute zoo.
Yeah.
It's just, God. And no, I don't.
You just really want a lesson in humanity.
And a lot, and we have something called Myers here, which is a lot nicer. People are better, nicer. The people at Walmart, they come from all walks of life. The gutter, to and everything else in between. So, and there's some rude people, but I had to go there for something because I was in the neighborhood. And I remember my mom told me that she wanted a specific cereal to pick it up for her. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And of course, as I'm at the Walmart looking for whatever, I say, I'll go in the Walmart. It's kind of earlier in the day. It shouldn't be as bad. So I'm in this Walmart. Haven't been in this in many years. And it's humongous. And it's like 9:30 in the morning. And it's still a bunch of people in there. I'm like, whatever. So I go down the cereal aisle, but I forget what cereal she told me to buy for. I don't bother to call her. I'm just kind of looking at all the cereal, trying to maybe that will stir on my memory. And so this woman, and again, this is the thing about me, this woman, probably about my age, maybe a little younger, I don't know, kind of pretty, comes up to me. And she starts talking to me. And I'm like, hey, she goes, I'm like, small talk. And she goes, you're going to find me weird, but I was just drawn to you for some reason. And she goes, have you had any paranormal experiences in your life? And I look at her and I say, in fact, I have. She goes, yeah, I'm into the paranormal too. There's something about me told me just to approach you. She goes, and I really never do this. Mm-hmm. And I said, strange enough, it happens to me all the time. But then, of course, I threw out, well, not from pretty women. I had to throw that at her.
You should have.
I did. I told her I said that. She kind of blushes. I had to take advantage of that opportunity. Right?
Yeah, you do.
I'm not shy when it comes to that, Monica. So she kind of blushes. She's talking. Yeah, she says, so she goes, I can see things. I sense things. I've had all these weird experiences. I said, well, hey, I have a YouTube channel, and I explained about the channel, what we do, and stuff like that. I said, I'd love to have you on the show. And tell me about these things. She told me a couple things. I'm not going to say what they are just yet because she agreed to come on the show either in June or July. This woman I met. Yeah. Well, yeah. I should have her come live in studio. Right.
Right.
Yeah. So she wants to come on in June or July because I guess she told me she's also a nurse and she's which is also very appealing, by the way. So
sure, as we age.
Yeah, right. So she's gonna be coming on. But here's the thing. So we're talking maybe about 10, 12 minutes.
Wow.
And then she's well spoken. I thought, yeah, she'd be a great guest. I don't need to hear all her stuff. I'm gonna wait. And then as she turns to leave, now you gotta remember something. I've totally forgot. I'm looking for cereal for my mom, and I forgot what the hell the cereal was, right? And I totally forgot why I was even there. I'm enthralled by this woman.
Sure.
So she turns, she smiles, she's leaving, and she said, the shredded wheat is an aisle down. That's the cereal my mom wanted.
So she's psychic.
I don't know.
Okay. Or maybe you mentioned it and didn't realize you'd mentioned it.
I didn't even know it was supposed to be shredded wheat. Okay. I knew it was cereal. That's why I tried to explain it. I didn't know. I forgot the name of the brand or the name of the cereal, shredded wheat.
Maybe she just assumed because, we're a certain age. Our parents are definitely a certain age. There's no prune cereal. Shredded wheat's the next best.
Yeah, but I just thought that was... I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, so
that is cool. And Robbie's got a date.
No, I certainly don't have a date. I have a guest coming on the show in June or July.
Sure.
If I failed to get her phone number. I go, damn it.
Well, how's she going to be on the show if you don't have her number to communicate with her?
She gave me her Facebook.
Okay.
Thing. That, what do you call that Facebook messenger thing?
Yeah. Put out the thought beacon. Maybe she'll hone in on you.
Yeah, so we'll see.
I'm looking forward to that. You'll have to tell me which show it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm
so I can be in the chat.
Yeah. You'll be there. I'll be at you. We'll be a Tuesday. It's gonna be the Tuesday night show. Me and Krista.
Okay.
And it should be either June or July. Just that and the other. But I'm a dummy for not getting the number. I got her Facebook. That's how dumb I was thinking. So I'm thinking, why did I not just get the number? I saw my Facebook. I gave her my Facebook. She goes, "I'll friend you then." And then she told me hers. I'm like, yeah, but who does that? You know why? I'm on this damn Facebook looking for guests so often. That's how I rolled.
Okay.
I was more business-like with it, toward the end. But anyway, I'm sure I'll connect with him. Well, I already friended her, so we got the hook up as far as that goes.
Okay. Looking forward to it.
Of course, Donnie.
It's cool that you have the ability, though, to just go up and talk to people. Like I can't do that. I can't
pretty easily.
I mean, when you're talking to me, I'm easy to talk to, and I do that on I purposefully make myself easy to talk to, but I don't just go up and start talking to other people. Like you have to engage me.
Okay.
Because I'm super shy. Like I am painfully shy around people I do not know. So I think it's cool that you have the ability, this is what I'm saying, to go up to people you don't know.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's just I've gotten more like that over the years for whatever the reason. Because I'm more standoffish. I'm typically come to me first type of guy. But I've noticed though over the last maybe since I owned the bar business, really, is when I've just become this, super chatty guy.
Well, I mean, okay, so at work, I do it, but it's work, right? The bar is work. So that's different. Like if I'm just out in the world, I can't just strike. I mean, if I see something funny, I might make a comment about it to whoever's standing next to me, or if something's going on, I might say something, but I don't just walk up and just strike up a comment. I can't do.
I don't walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, are you into the paranormal?"
Well, no, of course not. But I mean, you're personable. You'll walk up and start a conversation with somebody.
But there has to be something that I noticed that I can make a dumb comment on, because usually the dumb comment opens the door, and I don't do it with men. I just
see. I'll make a comment and then smile awkwardly and move along.
Yeah. But it's weird though, because I will tell you this: it's not like I'm Chatty Cathy and I talk to everybody, because more often than not, people just approach me, like the woman. I noticed her. I didn't say nothing to her. I was just doing my thing. And then she came up to me, just like this guy at the mobile gas station came up to me, started talking to me. And I don't really know why. Huh?
Yeah, you got that vibe.
And then I don't know why. And then he started going on about the paranormal. And we were outside the mobile gas station talking about the paranormal. He was a construction worker that was doing some work down the road. I think I told you this one, but this is one of the craziest ones. He was putting this mural of tile in this guy's bathroom. He had a pretty nice house, and it was a mural of some sort of Spanish background, and he had just laid a section of the tile of this mural, and then he said then when he left for his lunch break, he came back and the section was all upside down.
What?
And the mural was reversed. And he says, my men didn't take it out and redo it. It's impossible.
Well, there would have been signs, There
have been signs of it being removed. He goes, it was perfect, but upside down. And he goes, I don't drink on the job, stuff like that. You know, the first thing we ask people, were you on drugs? Were you high?
Yeah.
And no, it was reversed. He goes, and I couldn't, for the life of me, couldn't figure it out. Not to mention, I took a 1 hour lunch break, and the time that he took to do what he got finished took him well over like 3 hours. So to take it down, reverse it, put it back up is going to take you longer.
That's crazy.
And so, so I get stories. I do get things like that from people lately. And I started getting them then when I owned the bar, because the bar was haunted as well.
Right.
And then when it got out,
fun to own a bar. I do.
It's a lot of fun. It'd have been more fun if I could have been if I wasn't a hands-on person.
Right.
And not being, once I go to work, I was there 10 o'clock to 10 at night all the time.
Well, you want to have your hand in it because it's yours. I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, I don't know. Project management, I can delegate all day long. And
I mean, it's like, but I liked it. I did love it. And it's not like I could have been one of those guys that delegated everything, because the two people I was with was with me for 13 years, my bar manager and my main cook. I could have I did trust them. I just felt I had to be there, because if I wasn't there, I'd, to put out a fire, because it's all customer service.
It is, but I mean, if you have, as you know, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but if you've got a good team in place and you trust them, let them do their job. And I understand the want to be there if it's your baby. Literally, it's your baby. Right?
Yeah. Well, I quit a great job, which was really for 20 years, made good money to do this. And I was broke for 3 years. So it was like, I'm not going anywhere. And that's probably why I was there all the time. Because if I failed with that, I'd been, living in an alley somewhere,
living in a van down by the river.
Down, yeah,
sustaining a diet of government cheese.
Yeah. I'd be stuffing cheese down my pants at the local Walmart.
No, they'll charge you for it because they're watching.
They're gonna get me as soon as I walk out. I'd be the guy that got busted by the RoboCop.
Right. Your little chip gets a zap.
Yeah. T-Bone BMR had a paranormal portal followed by SOR on his TVS. Yeah, I did that. I had them. T-Bone knows. I had When I owned the bar, I broadcast from Dave Scott. I didn't broadcast. I broadcast Dave Scott's show
Mm-hmm.
at my bar, Space Out Radio. And when we got to know each other, we played a drinking game with his audience and my audience at the bar.
Oh, that's fun.
Whoever said plethora, if Dave said the word plethora, which he says ad nauseum,
Everybody's got a word.
yeah, right. My clients, that's another business. My customers would have to buy a drink. And
Mhm.
then if he said woo, I would buy him a drink. So we played that game, man, back and forth about 2 months. And my people, it was a different section of the bar because I had two parts in the bar. One, the big bar, and then the back area where this show went on. Because like a handful of us came around and watched it, like 10, 12 people throughout the week, Monday through Friday. And we would play the game show maybe on Tuesday or something like that. Not every day. And so, yeah, so people would play in the bar, which it kind of caught on. It was
That's
pretty
fun.
cool. And then I did the same thing with Brent Thomas. I didn't even, and by the way, when I knew Brent and Dave, I didn't even have a YouTube channel. I just met these guys and started communicating with them because I thought they were cool, you know?
Brent's really cool. I like
Yeah,
Brent.
he is. And so I did the same thing with Brent for a while. Little different. I just broadcasted the paranormal portal. I wasn't tight with Brent like I was with Dave. So I just said, I show your show, which he thought was kind of cool.
That is really
yeah.
cool. Yeah, open a bar. I think it would be fun to open a paranormal cryptid like centric bar and just broadcast Art Bell 24/7.
Oh, that'd be great. I would like to do that in the entrance. I was already dreaming that up because as much as I'm glad I'm out of the business, I still miss it. And I was already putting ideas together about doing one. I probably won't though, but my interest would be a portal. Derive a portal. You walk into a portal and enter the inside of the bar.
Sure.
Then have like a cool dog man or a Bigfoot in there.
Sure.
And just have that theme. And
I
then
think that
have
would be
like,
cool.
that's a great idea about the Art Bell just playing.
But you know what? That would be good. Maybe not static, but pop-up bars are all at least here in Dallas. They're like all the thing. Do paranormal pop-ups and do pop-up bars around the country or around the state.
Oh, that'd be cool. That's a
I'm
great
throwing
idea.
out business ideas.
Yeah, you are. Because I do a consulting business on the side too.
Huh?
I do a business bar consulting job.
Oh, I know you do.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, some guy from this BFE, Texas. I sent a text to I think it was on our group text. It was in Littlefield, Texas.
What the hell is that?
It's in West Texas. I looked it up. It's in the middle of nowhere.
And what does he want?
He wants me to help him with his bar because you heard I did consulting. It's my uncle's buddy.
For what, the 5 guys and 2 cows that come in?
Basically, yeah, I looked. I said, it's in the desert, man. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, but
you're gonna pay me $1,000? Well, I'll take your money. Tell you I can't help you.
Well, you could. I'm sure you could help him. I mean, I guess if he's willing to pay the fee, a bar is a bar is a bar.
Yeah, but I already know he probably don't have any customers.
Probably not, I would guess. But here's the thing: if he's out in the oil fields, he has the customers. So even though it's out in the middle of nowhere,
and I think it's north of Amarillo. Amarillo, a big town.
Amarillo is a big town.
Okay.
Amarillo is pretty big.
Well, maybe I'll take a second look. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if it's near Amarillo, that's a fairly big city. So he might have it. Like if he's out in Midland, Odessa, he's probably oil field. They spend some coin on Friday night, Saturdays.
Yeah, it was Littlefield, and I think, let me see. Now you got me intrigued. Really quick. I think I saved it. I normally don't save our group stuff. It's so out of control. You don't even
Come over.
Yeah, it's like I usually
situation is what I call it with text.
Yeah, and text says, never mind. Yeah, see this. I'm wasting. Okay, so I'm getting close. It's the hometown of Waylon Jennings. This is what text said, and
I'm googling.
Really quickly. I can't find it.
Where are you, Littlefield? Right here.
Littlefield.
I got it on Google Maps. Let's
Okay.
zoom out. Zoom out. Out. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see shice.
Yeah, me either. I can't even read this.
Mule shoe.
Huh?
It's near Mule Shoe.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's-
Keep zooming out. Other way, Monica. Oh, it is legit in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
So it's near Lubbock.
Okay.
Like Lubbock's right there. So yeah, oil fields. So he might have the clientele, probably not Monday through Friday, but on the weekends for sure.
Okay.
That I would go ahead and just
take a gander.
yeah.
Okay, because that's a great thing. Oil fields, yes, that's big. Because there's a big there's a fabulous bar. Not that it's fabulous. It's in who to think in it's either North or South Dakota, but it's also in the middle of an oil field. Well, it's a huge bar and it just rakes in the bread because the people are stationed there. They have actually apartments set up for these guys to live in.
Yeah.
And then what they do, they go to the oil field, they go to the bar, go to the oil field, go to the bar. That's all I do. So they spend their $1,000 a week, pay half of it on the bar. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. One of my best friends worked in the oil field for ages, and he would tell me stories. He'd tell me all kinds of stories. Actually, he had a really good skinwalker story. I think it was a skinwalker anyway, where it was run alongside his car in the middle of the night. Yeah. And anyway, he tells me stories about the oil fields. So I know the workers out there, they get paid very well.
Oh, yeah.
And they're under a lot of stress. So they're looking to
blow
relieve
off
that
some
somehow.
steam, and they make tons of money. They make
So if his bar has some vertical supports that he lets girls dance on occasionally, probably make more money.
well, probably. And I understand that's
if it's
yeah, no, I don't know if that is or isn't. Obviously, that's one thing I'm going to ask is about the oil field.
Yeah.
Because it might be worth, you know.
It would be worth it. Yeah.
You don't have to be all that smart, but if you have a bar in the middle of I don't know though, you gotta be doing something.
Well, if he's not advertising, and I'm not kidding, the take your clothes off clubs probably get the bulk of the business, but bars will also. So
yeah. No, I'll again, I got his information. I'm gonna call my uncle back, who it's his buddy, talk to him, and then talk to this other guy. Might be worth the trip then. I don't know. I'll have to see. It
might be. I mean, you ask some questions, get a feel for it, but it would be worth just asking the questions, I think.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I tell you what, Monica, this was a pretty cool show. Unfortunately, the Blondes and Boos, they were going to maybe help us. They had an investigation, but they got crappy internet. So they kind of, that's what they're doing. But we had a great show regardless, Monica. Mm-hmm. I want to thank Mr. Castro and T-Bone for gifting 5 BMR pirates. 10 more to join the clan, or join my posse of mateys. And Kelly Sandiford for your awesome super chat. That's awesome, you guys. Appreciate that. Helps support what we all do around here. Great show, Monica. Of course, Monica's our paranormal world every Thursday night at 10 Eastern Standard Time, right?
No, Central.
No wonder why I missed the show.
10 Central, 11 Eastern.
11 East. I do have your alert bell on, by the way. I don't know. Everybody, the alert bells, turn them on. That's all I got to say. Because we're on 7 days a week, all of us across the board.
Yep.
Donnie texts, girls, myself, paranormal.
The front porch takes no nights off. I can tell you that.
That text takes no nights off.
He's about to. He's about to. He's going to have to slow his roll.
Oh, by the way, I will not be having texts starting Thursday. As my sidekick on Brunch with Bigfoot, Michiganrob at 1 o'clock is going to be BMR. I'm taking audition tapes from folks that want to maybe be a co-host.
Got to have personality.
I'm half-assed kidding, but no, I got that flyer out. Brett Thomas might be sitting in with me at least a couple times during the month. So my format of this show is going to be a little different now. I'm yet to put that together. Let alone the rest of the shows we do, you know. So, but yeah, so thanks to everybody for coming on and hit the like button on your way out. I do appreciate that. Don't forget our conference, you guys. It's going to be fantastic. I'll be there. Monica will be there. Brandi, Krista will be there. Tex, Donnie Joe, Paranormal Paul. And that's just us. And we've got at least 20 featured guests and speakers to ghost hunt.
We got a movie premiere even.
We got a movie premiere. We've got the whole 9 yards.
It is a circus weekend.
It's gonna be in fact, all of us clowns will be down there probably a day or two early, just to, cause trouble. That's gonna be fun. So yeah, it's gonna be a nice little adventure.
Yeah, you can come hang out with me and Rob. And Rob is so personable.
Yeah, I'll come right up to you and say
chat
hi.
you up.
I'll chat
I'll
you
be
up.
in the corner hissing at people.
Yeah,
That's not true.
No.
I'm sweet. I'm sweet and I'm personable.
No, you are personal. You are sweet. I think you're, well, I can see that you're a little shy.
Yeah, if I don't know you and I'm in a large group where I don't know anybody, I will not say anything.
Yeah.
And kind of fringe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's me.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
But if I'm comfortable like I am with everybody on the porch, I don't shut up.
No, but that's good.
Comments from the peanut gallery.
When you're on a talk show, much like this, you have to talk. Dead air is dead time and a waste of money.
You have to
money
be
out the window.
Yeah, okay, talking. I still it still feels weird to me if I don't have a co-host and I am just talking to my computer screen. Looks like I'm talking to myself.
Oh,
I understand there are people in chat and there are people listening. It's hard for me to get in that headspace.
The hardest thing to do, because I do the Friday show by myself on purpose. Because it's really that's the format. For me, the hard thing to do is talk to everyone in chat, type, and pay attention to it. The hardest show is when you have a guest on Tuesday nights. I like to talk to the chat and type, listen to the guests, ask questions, and remember what they're telling me. That is a hard skill. I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
It's a very tough skill. Carry on 3 conversations and trying to listen to everybody. Very acquired.
Yes. You have to be able to hear just enough to keep up with.
Yeah, so I'm working on that. That's my downfall right now. But, well, I'm getting better. But anyway, all the shows are great. Thanks to everybody for coming on. Subscribe if you're new. And so today, of course, is, well, yeah, it's Sunday morning almost. Yeah, oh gosh, it is. Time, I tell you what, Monica, this is a great show. The time, I didn't even look at the clock till just now. And that always says it's a great show when the time goes by.
We have missing time. Yeah.
Oh gosh. That missing time that I told you about, that is kind of freaky.
That is freaky, Rob. That is very freaky.
Yeah, that's to this. I mean, I never thought much of it until I got involved in this phenomenon.
I mean, it's not just time, it's like it's geolocation, right? It's where like all of it.
Yeah, running out of gas none of those things should have happened, it's just not feasible. But that's a topic once again for another time. Thanks, Monica. Thanks to everybody for coming on in. Hit the alert bells. Hit the like button on your way out the door. I'm BMR for Monica. Have a great week coming up.
Bye.
This is the future. Evolution.
The Crossing Realms Conference launches September 19th and 20th and will dock in Richmond, Missouri. This is already being called the event of the year, folks, with an unprecedented list of speakers and special guests, 2 days of cryptids, UFOs, and paranormal presentations, along with a celebrity-filled ghost hunt, meet and greet, gallery reading, vendors, and a film screening. This promises to be both educational and fun. Go to Eventbrite.com to secure your tickets and vendor slots before they are all abducted. They're going fast.